So to kind of walk us through the concept around um, the story and where these three key players are finding themselves. What's happening?
Sure. So the story begins by elaborating on Sarai, Abram's wife, is not having a child. And she decides that she's going to take it into her own hands to generate the promise of God by giving her husband, Abram, her handmaiden, Hagar, to in some translations it says to actually wed. So another translation describes her as a concubine. So so from one perspective, she actually becomes Abram's second wife, in order to have him, go in and sleep with her, and she conceives a child. And when Hagar conceives, the Bible says that she, in some ways, begins to disrespect Sarai. And so
she got beside herself, basically.
Yeah.
And our world is like, I brought you on a job, I trained you up, you did all the things for me, and then essentially you basically start feeling yourself like,
right, absolutely,
I've arrived.
Yeah, absolutely. So she starts tripping, basically. She's tripping. And so Sarai rebukes her. She may have beaten her, but she responds. The Bible says she responds harshly to her, and as a result, Hagar just runs away. And so, and she runs into the wilderness, and in this place, it says the angel of the Lord found her beside a well, and he specifically asks, where are you going? Where are you coming from? And so she begins to explain what happened to her and why she found herself in that place. And he said, you know what, go back to your mistress, Sarai, and I'm going to, bless your seed. And you're going to have a son named Ishmael. And, well, she tells him to name him Ishmael. And then he just describes what Ishmael is going to be like as a man. Is not very flattering. And his seed, like his lineage, will likewise be, lineage that will always contend with other nations. So it's not necessarily a positive declaration about Ishmael, but the Bible, and the version that I'm looking at, is the Message Bible. It says, she answered God by name, praying to the God who spoke to her. She said, you're the God who sees me. Yes, he saw me, and then I saw him. And she eventually, goes back to Sarai. So that is the story in a nutshell. But one of the things that stood out to me when I read the story was that Hagar she didn't have any position, she didn't have any placement in society except as a slave. So the Bible describes her as a handmaiden, but that handmaiden translates to a slave. And she may very well have been a gift from the Egyptian Pharaoh at the time that Abram was in Egypt.